So, I was searching through some things, and if you're a real religious person, you might want to turn this off, because it might challenge your structure. If you're not willing to accept someone else's perspective, or their perspective of what they think this all is, then yeah, I don't want to argue about anything. Not at all. So just leave now. Anyways, for anyone who might want to know something or learn a little bit, you know, like I say, no knowledge is bad. This is what you use it for. I use the knowledge to try to figure things out. That's why I use knowledge. That's why I try to dip into everything I can. But anyways, so I'd like to read a passage from the Gospel of Thomas, because I got a little better in my head now. I might have mentioned it in a video a little bit ago, but now I got it better, plus I'm going to tie it into some things. So, in the Gospel of Thomas, the first sentence of that Gospel, or that book, says, these are the mysterious teachings that Thomas wrote down that Jesus, the God-man, told him. So, it was the mysterious teachings, because it was, I believe it was after the Christ figure, Jesus, had ascended. So he had some knowledge and wisdom to share, and he wasn't holding back any punches. So what he said in there in a spot was, "Some think I came to bring peace upon the earth. Rather, I came with a sword and fire, and I came to create division. I will set father against son, mother against daughter, neighbor against neighbor." And he also said in there, unless you make the two one and the one two, you'll by no means see the kingdom of God. Unless you make the male like the female and the female like the male, replace your eye with two eyes, replace your hand in place of a hand, and place your foot in place of a foot. He's talking about becoming a whole different being. A whole different being. Unless you do that, you will by no means see the kingdom of God. So when you're born here and you get into this system, and this is what I'm getting at with the driving force, the negative entity. So with what the Christ said in the Gospel of Thomas, he said, I came to create division. Now if you look on the planet, it's pretty divided right now. The Catholic churches, or the church, Christian, Catholic, whatever you want to say, those guys went in the Crusades and they stomped out everybody that didn't want to believe. And they spread that thing like a virus all over the planet. And now, everybody knows about the church, everybody knows about Jesus. And everybody hates everybody. Especially, my God's better than your God. My God can do this, your God hates blah blah blah. You know, and it's all in their books and their things that they read. That's all. It's telling them what to think and feel. That's it. So, what I'm getting at, by reason of deduction, okay, since the Christ figure in the Gospel of Thomas, which was a gospel that was taken out of the Bible because it had too much good information in it, I believe, and it contradicts the wuss Jesus from the Bible. Until Revelations, then he comes back and he's kicking ass. So, I don't know. But anyways, here's what I'm getting at. According to the Gospel of Thomas, Jesus said, I came to create division. Now, if he's the divider, then wouldn't it mean that the Antichrist is the unifier? Doesn't that make sense? Right? And here's the reason the Antichrist would be the unifier. Because the Christ is to create the division, and it's working. The Antichrist is you understanding that this ain't real out here. That's what the Antichrist is. Because the Christ is going to present the matrix to you. The Christ is the cross, and the cross is the box. The box is Saturn. The box is Satan. Yeah. So Jesus and Satan are the same entity. It's the same entity. It's the divider and the unifier. But you can't, the divider comes first. because you can't unify something that has never been divided. So we were all unified at one time in the heavens. When we came down here into our physical avatar bodies, then the separation became apparent and visible. I don't look like you. I don't think like you. So there's division, separation. But what's important is to have acceptance. Acceptance of other people's beliefs, as long as they're not infringing upon your health and well-being. Let people believe what they want to believe. Why not? Unless they're like not in good terms with humanity. Because you don't, the number one universal law, do no harm. Do no harm to yourself or those around you or the planet. Yeah. So the Christ was the divider. The anti, which is the opposite of the Christ, would be the unifier. Which is interesting because, you know, Satan, or what I'm saying, the unifier, he's sometimes related with this entity called Lucifer. And it's funny, this term Lucifer popped up in like 400 AD from a priest named Saint Jerome. And he threw it in the Bible, I think in Job or somewhere, or maybe Isaiah. I think Isaiah. And that term never existed before in the Bible. It wasn't in the original Aramaic or the Hebrew. But it ended up in the Greek, and now it's still in our books today. But here's the thing about the term Lucifer. Lucifer means light bearer, light bringer. There's information in light. The only reason you can see this world is because the sun and the moon. There's a light on all the time here. You turn electricity on, you can have fake light. But you get the real stuff from up above. So, anyways, this Lucifer guy, this character, like, he's giving information, and they put a twist on it and make him sound like a bad guy, and it's not. But what everybody needs to understand is that both of these entities, the Christ and the Satan figure, or the evil and the good, they're both within you. They're both up here. They're both thought. They're both thought. They both come from thought. They start in the mind. In the mind is where you get your judgments straight away. You have your biases, and you set your labels, and you do your stereotypes straight away in your brain. So, you know, you have to figure it out on your own. But, I don't know, that's just my opinion, and I'm not trying to step on toes or ruin anybody's religious whatever. But words are very powerful, and they say a lot. Especially words that were taken out and hidden for what reason? Because they don't want you to know certain things. But now you might know something. Good and evil come from the same place, and it's within you. Yeah. Jesus also said in the Gospel of Thomas, his disciples asked him, "Tell us where heaven is." And Jesus said, "If I tell you that heaven is above you, then the birds will enter in before you. If I tell you that heaven is below you, then the fish of the sea are already there. Rather, heaven is within you, and there you must seek it, and bring forth what is in you. And if you can bring forth what is in you, it'll save you. But if you can't bring forth what is in you, it'll kill you." So, a lot of good teachings from that gentleman. Whoever wrote it, whoever it was, it's good stuff, a lot of it. But I'm going to wrap it up. You guys have a great night, and I'd love to hear any questions anybody might have. I'm not interested in doing any religious battles, though, because I'm not religious. I know who I am. You have to figure out who you are. Have a great night. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow.